Today, we're going to dive into a really strange and potent story. Think of it less as a simple narrative and more as a parable about how a city can be utterly transformed from the inside out. It's about an ancient power that doesn't just knock on the door, but literally rises up through the floorboards of society itself. So how does a revolution like this even start? Well, it's not with some huge cataclysm or a big invasion. It starts with something much quieter, a whisper from the deep, a single word spoken from an abyss that's been lying dormant right under the city, just waiting. And this one line, wow, it just sets the stage for everything that's about to happen. It sounds poetic, sure, but it's almost biological, isn't it? You can almost picture this command traveling up from the dark, spreading like the roots of some ancient tree through the very foundations of the city, getting ready to burst through the surface.
And breach the surface it does, right in the bazaar, the very heart of commerce and daily life. Something new erupts. The source calls it a species of atavism, jagged, crimson, something primal and violent, tearing its way right through the civilized stone floor.
And that word, atavism, is absolutely key here. This isn't some alien invasion. This is an awakening of something that was already there, dormant inside the city and inside his people the whole time. It's the return of a savage, primal nature that civilization just kind of paved over.
Okay, so that initial whisper? It's about to become a full-on roar. The abyss isn't satisfied with just subtle influence anymore. Oh no, it's about to manifest itself, to create a massive monument to its power, right in the center of the bazaar for every single person to see.
In the form it takes, well, there's no mistaking it. A colossal statue of a dragon, Satan in his Draco form, emerges from the stones. It's described as a heavy, anchored thing made of clotted light stone. So it's solid, it's permanent, and it's not going anywhere.
So picture this terrifying, monstrous idol just erupts in the middle of a busy city square. The logical reaction is pure panic, right? You'd think the people, the narrow souls as they're called, would be screaming and running for their lives. But did they?
Nope, not even close. And this is the crucial turning point of the entire story. There's no resistance, there's no fear. Instead, the entire population just falls to their knees in worship. This tells us the change isn't just external anymore. Something profound has already shifted inside the people themselves.
So why do they kneel? They're overcome by what the source calls a new kind of worldly wisdom. It's this sudden, shocking moment of self-recognition. When they look at this dark idol, they don't see an enemy. They see a perfect reflection of their own dark, predatory hunger that they've been suppressing for so long.
And boom, just like that, the takeover is complete. The symbol of the abyss, this dragon, is no longer seen as an invader. It is now the city's high altar. It's the new center of civic life, of spiritual life, of everything.
All right, so now the story's perspective shifts a bit. We move from this huge public spectacle to the internal experience of it all, and we see it through the eyes of a very interesting narrator, a character who calls himself the Tarantula Preacher.
And get this narrator, he's not just watching from the sidelines. He's like a conductor for this energy. He physically feels their collective acceptance, this sacred yes, as a vibration. This isn't forced on them. It's a deep, communal, and totally willing agreement.
So let's break down what's happening inside these people, the so-called righteous, the good, moral citizens. They're literally shedding their old identities like snakeskin. They're willingly anchoring their spirits to the idol's intense dark energy, and by doing that, they're finally embracing the savage, primal will they'd always been taught to deny. And as they convert, the narrator's own power just skyrockets. He describes his own shadow, his influence expanding inside what he calls the labyrinth of the body, just feeding on this raw atavistic energy. He's weaving a global web from their collective acceptance.
The whole point of the bazaar has been flipped on its head. What used to be a place of pious trade, honest and fair dealing, has become a marketplace for the gay science of the pit, which is a fantastic phrase for a kind of joyful, forbidden, and dangerously liberating knowledge.
You see, the dragon isn't just some statue to be worshipped anymore. It's become their Veda Tecum. It's an old Latin term that basically means a go-to guide, a handbook you carry with you everywhere. This idol is now their new rulebook, their moral compass for everything they do in this new world.
So this all leads to the final stage of the marketplace's transformation. It's not just a place for business or even worship anymore.
It's become something else entirely. It's become a stage, a grand venue for a new kind of public ceremony.
I mean, the name really says it all, doesn't it? The heart of the city is now, officially, a theater of the unholy. All the old pretenses are gone. The rituals of this new age are performed right out in the open for everyone to see and participate in. And with that come new public rituals, dark ceremonies, like pouring the 7 vials right into the gutters as an offering, a libation for the dragon, are now totally normal. The sacred has been turned upside down, and the unholy is now celebrated.
The narrator sees this whole thing culminating in what he calls a lucid vision. He sees the merchants, once so pious, now scorning their old, safe ways. He sees every single person becoming a node, a living cell in this new psychic web. And a raven's triumphant croak confirms it. The city has fully accepted the abyss's invitation.
But wait, who are the masterminds behind all this? The narrator, the tarantula preacher, isn't working alone. Now we get to meet the figures who are essentially the new sovereigns of this transformed city, the parents of this whole new species of human.
This is where we meet the Wiccan, and just like the tarantula preacher, her power is surging. Her very blood, her ichor, is said to be boiling with this gay science, this joyful, forbidden knowledge. As the old world crumbles, she is rising.
And her point of view is so important here. For her, the Untergang, which is a German word for downfall or ruin, of the city's old, narrow-minded morality, isn't a tragedy at all. It is the direct cause of her own ascent. The city had to fall for her to be able to rise.
So here you can see how their roles, while different, fit together perfectly. He's the ideologue, the heart, the voice, the one who weaves the whole system together. And she is the sovereign individual, the ascent, the victory, the one who truly embodies the kind of freedom this new world promises.
And this is the new reality. It's the ultimate paradigm shift. What used to be hidden away, what was once forbidden knowledge that could only be whispered in secret, is now the public and open law of the land. It guides every single hand and every single soul in the bazaar.
And that brings us to the end of this first chapter, let's call it. The parable wraps up by summarizing the sheer totality of the change, and it proclaims that this isn't an ending. It's the definitive start of a new, dark reign.
This line right here is huge. It signifies a major shift. Whatever secret plotting was being done in the forest and the cave, that's all over. The secret of prologue has been totally eclipsed by the public roar of the marketplace. This new power isn't hiding anymore. It walks openly, in the light.
And here it is, the core belief of this new age, just laid right out for us. It's a philosophy of, well, creative destruction. It says that true freedom, a truly sovereign spirit, can only be achieved by embracing destruction and what the old world would have called evil.
This final metaphor is, well, it's pretty chilling, but it perfectly describes the anatomy of this new reign. It's not a political structure. It's a living, breathing organism. The tarantula is the heart that pumps. The dragon is the tough outer skin. And the bazaar, that constant flow of energy and commerce, is the blood.
And it all wraps up with this final, powerful declaration. The web is closed. The first sentence of this new, dark history has been written. The harvest of the righteous, the complete transformation of the old population, has now finally and permanently begun.
What's really fascinating is that the source material actually calls all of this just part 1 of the city's undoing. The story ends, but it leaves us with this huge, lingering question. If this is only the beginning, if this is just the first sentence, what in the world could possibly come next?